It's week 13 in the NFL, and we are previewing a handful of games with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com. Joe Duffy, of course, as our regular viewers know, always takes the toughest games each week in the NFL that I ask him to cover, and Cincinnati, Cleveland definitely qualifies as one of those. We'll see what he has to say about it. I'm Peter Loshak. You're watching SBR Videos. All right, Joe Duffy, Cincinnati was a big home favorite last week. They got a dominant win and cover, which puts them now at 9-1-1 against the spread on the year. And that is just, let's have a moment of silence for how awesome of a record that is. Anyone who's on that train was cashing this year. Now they're a 9.5 or 10-point road favorite against Cleveland. And Cleveland, of course, came off the bye, lost in that crazy Monday Night Football game. They've now lost 5 in a row against the spread. So they're clearly a team that is in disarray and overvalued, but they're getting 9.5 or 10 points here. All sorts of issues at quarterback. It's been announced that Austin Davis is going to start over Johnny Manziel. I was thinking of maybe taking a shot with the under. Cincinnati proved that they could win in a sort of a run-oriented, grinded-out game last week, and we might see something similar here. It went under last week. We might see an under here again. That would be the way that I'm leaning. As far as the spread is concerned, I'm completely at sea. What's your take on this game, Joe Duffy?
This is a rare case where I'm actually going to go with the big road favorite, Cincinnati. Look, they had lost 2 games in a row, and of course they rebounded in style last week. That wasn't a very good pick for me. I expected them to really struggle, but they came back. And I know they do have kind of a look-ahead game at Pittsburgh, which will be much more of a statement game. But the fact that they did lose 2 of their previous 3 games, I don't think they're going to be caught off guard here. I think they'll use every single opportunity to run the score up on Cleveland, a team that is in disarray. Cincinnati clearly much better on both sides of the ball. And look, to Andy Dalton's credit, I've been a critic of his, and to shut me up, he's still going to win a couple playoff games, but he's got 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and even in the last 2 games, he's thrown for 548 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception. That includes one of the games that he lost. So he is clearly in a groove. I think the motivation is there for Cincinnati to make a statement and say that those 2 losses were flukes. And clearly, they're a much better team than Cleveland, and you documented that Cleveland is a team in disarray. So I will lay the lumber here.
All right, minus 9.5. That's a lot of points. Kind of surprising, Joe Duffy. What do you think about a shot with the under? Right now, it's 43.5. The Greek has 44. Maybe we'll see something very similar to what we saw last week from Cincinnati, in which case they will get the cover, even as a big favorite. And also, we'll see an under. What do you think about that?
I really think if Cleveland wants if Cincinnati, I should say, wants to make a statement, they might wind up piling up the points and putting the game over the total. And look, Cleveland's going to be playing from behind. They know that they're not going to win this game by keeping the ball away from Cincinnati. The only chance they have is to see what they've got, with Austin Davis, a new quarterback. Remember, sometimes a new quarterback does work short term. So I have a tough time agreeing with you on the under.
All right, Joe Duffy, minus 9.5. You want to go official with that?
I will go official.
Interesting. Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, willing to give 9.5 points with Cincinnati against Cleveland, NFL Week 13. Joe Duffy, thanks so much for your insights. Always very interesting to hear what you have to say on any game. And your premium plays go at your website, OffshoreInsiders.com, each week. Give a plug for that.
Yeah, it's going very well. College basketball, especially as we follow this as our most recent sport that we're hot in, at least short term, 11-4 the last 15. Look, anybody who cares about long-term profit, you're already a client of mine, or you got to jump on board now. Just visit OffshoreInsiders.com for all the details.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Thank you, Peter.